Hi everyone, let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to explain what you do to your family and friends and gotten a blank look? Or is fear holding you and your online business back right now? Now, if you answered yes to either of those, you're going to love this month's free newsletter. How do you get a copy? Head on over to writecom.com now. And by the way, if you want to make more money with your online business, you are going to love our coffee bean money making idea inside. So head over to Writecom, that's WRITECOME.com, and you'll find the newsletter waiting for you over there. Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode from writecom.com. And today's podcast episode is entitled 3 Strikes and You're Out. Now, I don't know much about baseball. From the couple of times I've seen it on TV, it just seemed like a boring game compared to other sports. But I have come upon the rule of 3 strikes and you're out. You know, if you miss the ball 3 times, it's off to the dugout with you. Now, while none of us are probably kids anymore, a lot of us carry that rule around in our heads, in that we will try and do something a certain amount of times, and if it doesn't work out, we give up and we just walk off and just say, well, it wasn't for us. I'm never going to get the hang of that. I'm no good at it, and we just give up. Now, I remember reading one time that someone said that the majority of people will never try anything more than once. You know, if they don't get it right on the first attempt, it's very few people that will come back and give it one more go. Now, I'm sure if you probably look back in your own life, there were probably situations where you did try something once, it didn't work out, you embarrassed yourself, or it didn't happen, and you just gave up on it. But when you think about it, if we look back to our early childhood, as kids, when we, didn't know how to learn, how to walk and how to talk, if we gave up so easily, then, we would just probably be sitting in a corner now with just not saying anything at all. But we knew back then when we were kids that we were going to make mistakes, that we were never going to get it right on the first attempt, that we were going to fall over. And because we kept with it, because we did it over and over again, we made a little bit of progress, we kept our balance for a little bit longer, we got another step. The word that was coming out of our mouth, it wasn't a mumble anymore, it was a little bit clearer. People were starting to applaud us and we were delighted in the attention we were getting, so we kept going. And all those small improvements made sure that we reached a point that right now as adults we can walk and we can talk, things that we take for granted. But when you think back to how the journey we must have gone on, how many times you must have fallen over, how many times you must have tried to get a word out and we just couldn't do it, and we can actually do that now. Now, Jim Edwards said one time that a lot of us unfortunately kind of build ourselves up on our first attempt, that we assume that if we are going to do something we've never ever done before, that we are going to get it right, or even halfway right. But as Jim said, it's better to be honest with yourself and better to say to yourself, something, I am going to suck at this. This is going to be terrible. This is going to be the worst attempt that I am going to do. This blog post that I am going to write is probably going to be my worst blog post. This podcast episode I'm going to record is going to be terrible. But we know that if we suck, that any time we go back and do it again, it's going to mean a small improvement. We're going to get a little bit better and a little bit better. And as Jim says, when we go through those levels, you will find that you will reach the okay point. You're not terrible anymore. You're not brilliant. You're not great, but you're a little bit better. So you're okay at the thing that you were trying to do. And if you stick at that okay level and you keep attempting over and over and over again, you are going to reach a point where you are probably going to be good at it. And again too, if you keep going again and again and again, you are going to reach the point where you're going to be an expert at it. So wherever you are right now, whatever you're doing, I want you to take that magical number out of your head. There's no such thing as 3 strikes and you're out, because whatever you're doing right now is going to probably take more than 3. It's probably going to take more than 33. It could take maybe 333 attempts before you get it right, because you're going to need to work up through all those levels to reach the point where you're good at it or you're an expert at it. And again, going back to that baseball diamond again, imagine if you stayed on that baseball diamond all day. Someone threw the first 3 balls to you, you missed those balls. But what if someone kept with you all day, throwing ball after ball after ball after ball, and you kept swinging that bat until your arms were on the verge of falling off. I'm sure at one point you would hit a ball at a sweet spot and you would probably shoot it out of the park because you stayed with it. So that's what I want you to keep in mind, is that to get rid of that magical number in your head, because it's going to take more than 3 times, or whatever figure you have in your head, and you're going to suck at it, but stick with it. You proved it to yourself before when you were growing up, how you learned how to walk and talk. Now you need to stick to it as an adult. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Rightcome.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.